Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let's go. This is wild, folks. This is wild. Um, and I got to shout out Rhodes over at Black and White Sports 2 because this popped up in the conversation. He let me know about this. So shout out to him because I had missed it. I don't know how. And this is wild. This is really, really important though, okay? Because this ties into that whole sham investigation that the WNBA just did. And you had those comments from Angel Reese when she was interviewed about it and talked about how hurtful it was, the things that she was hearing. We had the Kennedy Carter incident after the hit on Caitlin Clark, at the getting off the bus, I believe it was in Washington, and talking about, the isms of what was going on there. And Angel Reese amplified it on Twitter, and it turned out to be a complete lie. And we're gonna go back to September of 2024 as well, because it paints a very, very different story from what we have been hearing from the perpetual victim slash villain. She can't make up her mind, Angel Reese. And this is an important story for everything about the WNBA and how they handle this whole, you know, no space for hate, or whatever the ridiculous saying is that they've got going on, and their witch hunt with the Indiana Fever fan. This is Angel Reese after the game against New York, which of course they got their backsides handed to them. And hey, you know what? The Fever did to the Dream as well. So, it is what it is. But a lot of people seem to think like the Liberty won because they were so excited that Angel Reese got her double double. But let's listen to this question, because she is asked about what, the stuff that she gets online, and what this game sends to the message it sends to them. But you've really got to pay attention to this. This is important. And then we're going to follow up with some other stuff she said. And it really does make you wonder what's going on and how badly the WNBA needs some professionalism in its own front office, as well as the media. Shout out, by the way, Natalie Esquire, who has me blocked, she's as bad as any of them. Monica, Cheryl, the whole gang. And yet I don't think she realizes what she did here. So I don't know how long this is going to be up, but here we go.
For you, Angel, tonight you were extremely efficient, played with a lot of poise and confidence tonight. For all the scrutiny you do receive online and stuff of that nature, what kind of messages a game like this send to them, as well as just the kind of momentum that this can build for you throughout the season?
Yeah, obviously don't worry about what's going on online. I get so much love in person. I haven't ever had a negative encounter in person ever. And I've been going through this for 3 years. I've never had an encounter in person that was negative. So people online are behind a keyboard for a reason, and I don't worry about that stuff. I trust my work. My teammates trust me. And I was telling Milla today, like, she felt like she was having a rough day, and I was like, how many times have I had a rough day? And you picked me up. So don't get down on yourself. I know my teammates have my back, my coaches have my back, and that's all that really matters. I don't have to prove anything to anybody but myself and my teammates.
Wow. Okay, now first of all, that's a I don't want to say lie in this case, because it's really not that big a deal, but it just goes to a larger issue. We all know that that's nonsense with regards to online, because we've seen it. She very much pays attention to what's going online. I mean, I've never even interacted with her, and she has me blocked. So of course she pays attention to what's going online. But if you heard that very, very clearly, she emphasized it, said it a couple times. She has never had a negative experience in person. So what happened in the game last week? Or hey, you know what? Let's go back a little bit to an episode of her podcast where they talk about Caitlin Clark, and she, as they all like to, oh, it's not Caitlin, but boy, those fans. And then she proceeds to trash the fans and listen specifically to some of the things that Angel Reese has to say in terms of her experience with those fans.
Whenever you think of Angel Reese, people often mention Caitlin Clark. You've said in interviews, there's no beef.
Just real quick, I'd like to flip it. It's actually the other way. Because they're so desperate to diminish Caitlin Clark. It has always been whenever Caitlin Clark is mentioned from sports media or what have you, it's always and Angel Reese, right? You know what I'm talking about. I've mentioned it many times. We spent the entire last season with that. Whenever Caitlin Clark did anything well, it was Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Although every once in a while they changed it up. They thought they were keeping you guessing, keeping you fooled by saying Caitlin Clark and the rookie class. Wait, let's keep going.
But the media keeps going on. So how do you feel about that situation?
Kaylin is an amazing player, and I've always thought she was an amazing player. We've been playing each other since high school. So I think it's really just the fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans that are like.
So it's all her fans. Angel Reese's fans have nothing to do with any of it. It's all Caitlin Clark's fans.
Like, they ride for her, and I respect that respectfully, but sometimes it's very disrespectful.
I respect that respectfully, but it's disrespectful. My brain, man. It's like blood shooting out of my eyes.
I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to it, and I don't believe she stands on any of that. But when it comes to death threats, like, I'm talking about people have come down to my address, following me home. Like, it's come down to that. Multiple occasions, people have made AI pictures of me, like, naked. Literally.
Really?
They have sent it to my family members. My family members are like, uncles are sending it to me like,
No.
are you naked on Instagram? It sucks.
Okay, I don't believe any of that. I've talked about that before. And by the way, right or wrong, and I'm sure anyone who spent time online, you can see them long before this AI image stuff existed, and there was simply Photoshop. Celebrities were constantly getting their faces put on the bodies of other people from those who could use Photoshop. So it has nothing to do with Angel Reese. It has nothing to do with Caitlin Clark's fans, and it is not new. But again, listen to what she just said there, and then what she just said yesterday. People followed her home. People came to her address. That to me sounds like a negative experience in person. Am I missing something? Is that not a negative experience in person? Now I'm guessing the threats on unaliving her were online, of course. I doubt that anyone said that to her face. And that has nothing to do with Angel Reese. I just, just from the story she's telling, and I believe that. I'm sure those were definitely online, but she did specifically say there, people have come to her house, people have not just come to her house, followed her home. Is it me, or is that a negative experience in person? I mean, and if someone's following you home to the point where it's a Caitlin Clark fan, there must have been some type of interaction had in order for you to know that it was a Caitlin Clark fan who was following you home. Although, after the New York Liberty game, as we just heard, she said, I've never had a negative experience in person. Which is it, Angel Reese? Hey, call out to every single sports media member out there. Natalie Esquire, Monica Minuck, L. Duncan, Andrea Carter, Gerald Swoops. Hey, you're media enough for me. And I'm sure there are names off the top of my head that I'm missing. But hey, you too, Stephen A. Smith, right? The one who was so sure about these people telling you who they are in Indiana, even though the whole thing was made up and a lie. Now, Christine Brennan would ask it, but I guarantee you they'd try and terminate her job again and get rid of her credentials. That is absolutely what the WNBA Players Union would do, as we all know. Here is a huge problem right here. Very clear that the WNBA will do nothing about this, that the WNBA will not issue an apology, that the media will never ask Angel Reese to square up these two statements on video. One, saying Caitlin Clark fans followed her home, and two, saying she never had a negative experience in person. It cannot be both. Those two things cannot be true. Angel Reese should be facing some consequences from the WNBA for what she has done here, because it causes a lot of problems and it impacts a lot of people, and the WNBA needs to clean up its mess. It will never become a successful sports league if it does not clean up its mess. But let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. As always, appreciate you checking out this video. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. Go have the day you deserve, and I will talk to you later.